All right, we're headed back on the road for another episode of Kung Fu Chronicles to get another 5 questions from another Kung Fu master answered. Let's do it. Alright, Kung Fu Chronicles, we are back, and today I'm in the city of Banning to check out Sifu Angel Velazquez, who teaches Unga Kyun, better known as the Shaolin 5 Animal System in Kung Fu. Listen, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that below now, and then stick around to the end of this video where we're going to show you some specific techniques of Unga Kyun. Alright?
Learning also, both of them, and all of the students that we have to try to do, our system is divided on 4 levels. Long range, middle range, half range, and then ground. Long range is when you use the kicks. Our system doesn't have that many variety of kicks, but we have the system has maybe, I want to say maybe like 8 or 9 kicks. All the other kicks are kicks, they're composed kicks. Let's say we have the horse stance, then we have the 360, then we jump and land the horse stance. Well, we add the outside crescent kick, and we call it tiger tail. Now we jump into it. So that's the first technique that we teach the students, the long range, the kicking. The second is what you saw is the punching. Then the third one is the elbows and knees, and the fourth one is ground. So, but when we go to ground, it's not like an MMA type of thing. It's a takedown. You come up and you keep doing your thing.
Okay.
But basically, the reason that we train like this to our students though is because the majority of Kung Fu schools, they emphasize a lot on forms and weaponry, and they don't emphasize much on fighting. Our school is more of a fighting school, a self-defense fighting school.
You just attract violent people.
We do utilize the forms and weapons and whatnot, but we feel, at least I feel, that it's more probable for the student to be able to be an all-round martial artist and any type of now when we talk about traditional martial arts, dance when we have different types of students. First, I let the students to fall in love with the way, with the method of teaching. Then after we see that the students that they like it like that, then we start going with the more traditional stuff where we have the forms, the weapons, and whatnot.
All right, so today I'm here with Sifu Angel Velazquez. We're out here in the...
Where am I now?
Wow, we're far.
In the beautiful city of Banning, California.
Yeah, Banning, California. We are very far. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you for coming.
Angel, for having me. First and foremost, let me ask you how you got started in Kung Fu, when you started, how was the motivation to get started?
Well, you know, I started Kung Fu when I was 9 years old. I was in the city of Ensenada, California, and I saw the picture of Master Wong, Douglas Wong, and with, also it was a Kung Fu magazine. It was Master Wong, it was Shirley, and they were doing some techniques, and that was one of the things that I thought it was kind of cool. And then every Saturday, I don't know if you remember, every Saturday there were the Kung Fu movies, long hair and that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, Shaw Park. I mean, and the 90s, I mean, all that kind of stuff. So all those movies kind of inspire me to kind of look for martial arts. What I like about the martial arts though was that everybody was looking for a superhero. Yeah. And that's exactly what it kind of got me to martial arts. I was like, not wearing egg, but you know, when you used to go to the Shaolin temple, you know, be rushing this asanas, you know, on the floor, the moving and whatnot. And I always thought that like everybody that you come from were like a superhero. So to me, that's kind of like motivating. Push it and look for something to do. Here I am.
Okay, gotcha. Now I know that you guys do the training induction, 5 animal system.
Yes.
What makes it look, for those that don't know, what makes it look different from other systems?
Well, the 5 animal system is composed of five arts of Kung Fu. I don't know if you guys noticed over there, I always put the power of 5. It's because 5 styles participating in the art. And this is the cool thing of the art though, because let's say if you cannot think too much, you can modify the art to your body type, you know, to metabolism. And it's not that it's a different, it's just depending on who does the art, you know, how the art is.
Understood. Okay, then for people that would like to train with you to come out here and see this beautiful school, how can they reach you?
Nice. Well, they can call us at 951-849-8864. That's our phone number. You can follow us on Facebook, angelsblacktiger.com, R1 Kung Fu Center, USA, or in YouTube as well, R1 Kung Fu Center or Angels Black Tiger.
Awesome. I'm going to ask you to show me a couple of self-defense techniques from your system a little later in the video.
Nice, nice.
But for now, the feature's called 5 questions for Kung Fu Masters.
Sure.
I'd love to ask you those questions.
Of course, of course.
All right, let's do it.
Let's see if I'm not nervous. When you become a disciple, you know, the responsibility is a little bit kind of tough. It depends everything how the concept of the disciple of your Sifu or your Thai Sifu. When I say Thai means old in Chinese, Sifu means teacher or father. So I direct to my grandmaster's Thai Sifu. So everything depends on the relationship you have with your Sifu. Traditionally, is once you get a disciple, you know, the responsibility of the system, the responsibility of the family of your Sifu becomes yours, and whatever you do reflects on your Sifu. So I'm not saying that it has been hard. It actually has been an honor for me to try to step up and to keep up going with the tradition. Basically, I think is to keep pushing, keep teaching the art the way it's supposed to be patient, to be honest, not to lie, not to fib, especially in the art, because nowadays you just press a button and you can find anything. Right. So be honest to your Sifu, be honest to your teachers, and I think with that you will give more credit to your Sifu as a disciple, and more honest, and I think you can accomplish much more. I think that's my take on the disciple part. I went the other day on YouTube and I saw this Kung Fu practitioner fighting with an MMA fighter, and obviously the martial artist lost big time. Well, the Kung Fu practitioner lost big time, and a lot of people think that Kung Fu is not aggressive or strong enough. Keep in mind that Kung Fu, when people come into a traditional martial arts school, there's different type of goals. They come in with the goal of trying to look for discipline, control, honor, respect, all that kind of stuff. When you go to MMA class or MMA school, the mentality is different. The mentality is you want to go and learn how to fight, how to be able to defend yourself. So the mentality is totally different. That's one to start. That's one. And keep in mind that the training that you have on an MMA is totally different than the training that you have on a regular Kung Fu. Now, talking about not knowing how to fight or not knowing how to be able to interact with an MMA fighter, I guess everything depends how you train. It goes back to a lot of people, they come in and they ask, well, which style do you think is better, this one or this one? Well, I don't think it's the style, it's the practitioner. So obviously, if you have a really hardcore martial artist that practices the real-time techniques, real-time momentum, I think he'll be given a good run to the MMA fighter, especially if you're a martial artist, if you're three-dimensional. We have a technique, we have that on our YouTube. It's called standing crane. And we utilize it when your opponent's doing the punches and kicks to your thigh. And I never realized that when I went and saw a clip on a Muay Thai clip, I saw they're doing the same momentum. But I'm pretty sure they taught it in a different aspect. So again, all the moves are there in Kung Fu. The only thing is we have to be three-dimensional to be able to find it. The advantage, the advantage again, I think it will be the practitioner. Again, you can have the guy doing 100 push-ups and still the punch can be sloppy. You can have one kid doing one push-up and you can see his fist already ready to do the punch. And I guess everything depends on the interpretation, how you take it.
500 fights. That's the number I figured when I was a kid. I'll tell you, you learn a lot of things on the way to 500. None more important than this.
Like when I practice my students, when I teach them the horse set, let's say to the kids, as soon as it's a horse set, they don't like the idea of the horse set.
Horse stance. Very good for taking a dump. Hey!
But when I say show me two mountains, the concept changes totally because they make their two legs like the mountains. Now, when I say, okay, you're gonna do a Wing Chun bow or a bow and arrow stance, they don't like the idea because they think better. When I said, okay, you're gonna make one mountain and one river, the concept changes. Then when I say, okay, well, we're gonna be doing one little mountain hiding a big mountain, or one big mountain handle, that's a cat stance position or the cross legs position. So the mentality of how to approach the art is totally different. So I guess it depends also on the instructor, how he approaches to try to be able to tap to the particular student and awaken that master within. I'm a Hispanic person trying to teach, well, not trying, teaching a Chinese art and speaking a language that is not, well, speaking actually three languages, my Spanish, the English, and the Chinese with my Sifu. It has been a challenge. The challenge is when you have, let's say Chinese practitioners, they see your art. I guess that's more of the concept though, because sometimes we have the concept that the people that practice the Chinese art, they're Chinese and practice Chinese art, sometimes we think they're going to have better technique, a better flow, better momentum. But it's not that. I guess everything depends how you put your feel on the art. Obviously, since I'm Hispanic, the majority of my clientele, the majority of my students are Hispanic. Oh yeah. I have a friend that is Caucasian, it's like 4 blocks away. Got it. The majority of the students are Caucasian. So I guess people will go with the people they feel more comfortable with. The ideal thing is to be able to break that barrier though, to be able to talk. The cool thing is that Kung Fu is like math. It's a universal language. Math, it doesn't matter if you're Chinese, Hispanic, 2 is 2 and any language, the number 2. So in Kung Fu is pretty much the same thing, it's a universal language. So sometimes the color, the race kind of passes the art when the student sees that passion. He sees the love, he sees the care, It sees how much you really are into the art, that they forget your color, they forget your race, and believe it or not, sometimes they forget even your accent.
Yeah, that's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey?
Keep in mind that the opinion on other people doesn't make you be that, you know. So the only thing I can say is do not take advice from people that don't have what you don't have. So for you to have whatever they don't have, you need to do whatever they're not doing for you to keep moving forward. So me, when I opened my school, the first thing they said to me is that you're not going to last. So 20 years later, I'm still here, and that's because, you know, I keep moving, keep pushing forward. If it's your dream, it's your dream, and you have to make it happen. You cannot say I can't, you know. My Sifu says you can rest, but you cannot quit. You know, very important. You know, ask help when you're strong, do not ask help when you're weak. My Sifu always tells me that because that gives me the opportunity for me to keep moving forward. So do not give up, man, just keep moving forward. If they say you can't, it's because they couldn't. You know, their opinion of you cannot be your reality. So keep moving forward, guys. The forms on every system is like the textbook. And you know, you need to learn the forms. It's imperative that you need the forms. You do not utilize the form 100% on a real fight because the movements are unorthodox. You know, they're not in a sequence momentum. You know, but what the forms teaches you the coordination, the reflex, the stamina, the unorthodox momentum as well, so you can be able to react as well. It depends how hard you want to take the forms, the traditional forms, to apply them in a street. Let's say if you're learning a traditional form, and if you want to say, okay, well, these are the 2 moves that I'm going to use on this fight, those are the only 2 moves that you can have to utilize on that particular move of the form and a real fight. It's really, really hard. I think that for us to be able to apply 100% the momentum of the form is because you have to be, well, at least in my case, I think you have to be really tough and really good to be able to move quickly enough to be able to do every single move in that momentum. But the advantage that you have when you learn all that is you have the core and you have the basis of the mechanics of how the body moves and how the body how can you manipulate your body to be able to get to your task. So when it comes to applying the forms, yes, you do apply the forms on a real situation, but not to the full extension of the form.
All right, there you go. Another 5 questions answered from yet another Kung Fu master. Before we get to the self-defense techniques, quick reminder, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribing, of course, to help the channel grow. And also, if you've got ideas for future questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below, and then, of course, that'll help us all to interact and become more of a family. Now some self-defense.
Self-defense. Well, self-defense is when you interact with your opponent without letting your opponent interact back. Let's say when you have a conversation. We see a lot of martial artists that, let's say, do a punch, and they go like this. They do a whole punch. Right? So there's different stages. Stage number 1, I think, me personally, since I work in law enforcement, I think it's very important to have the first one, to how to identify the signs of the situation that is going to happen. The second one is to be able to have the mental toughness. What happens when we have an accident or when we have an alteration? A lot of oxygen goes to our brain and we start getting shaky, our voice starts shaking, even our eyes get watery. And it doesn't mean that we're afraid, it just means that we have a lot of adrenaline going on. Now, if we work a self-defense technique, and if you're not ready mentally, your brain is gonna go in shock. When our system goes in shock, let's say that you can do an elbow, and you never hit anybody with an elbow, and you're practicing the technique, do a punch, and boom, you do an elbow, right? And as soon as you do the elbow, let's say you knock the guy, or you open the nose and whatnot, and you feel this thing on your elbow, and you look at it, and then you see the nose and you see blood, right? And the first thing, your brain is gonna go on shock. Why? Because you never used it before. You feel and the reason I'm telling you this though is because the first time I got into, that's exactly what I went through. It was an eye opening. So when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to martial arts and self-defense, first I think you need to start with a mental toughness to be able to identify the technique. Once you get all of that, then get your body conditioning. Now, A lot of people say, well, okay, I don't have none of that time, so I want to be able to learn just one self technique. Okay, cool. But keep in mind that one thing is to learn the momentum and the other thing is to learn the actual intention. The mechanics, on this position, the mechanics is I can pull out, I can try to go in, I can try to go this way. There's so many techniques. But on this one, we're gonna be working what we call the snake technique. On this one, we're gonna pull. And as soon as we pull, the reaction of our opponent is gonna be to pull back. So when I pull, he's gonna pull me back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna react to use that reaction. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my fist, when I pull and he pulls back, I'm gonna have my fist pointing towards my stomach. And as soon as my fist points to my stomach, my elbow is gonna jab right into his solar flex. So I go 1 and 2. Now from here we can follow up with whatever. We can follow up with a push. We can follow up, push, kick, run. We can follow up with a push, grab, knee. So everything depends on the creativity and the intention.
Awesome. And thanks to Sifu Angel Velazquez once again and his students for being a part of this video.
This is Master Velazquez from our own Kung Fu Center, Angel's Black Tiger Academy. And keep watching Kung Fu Chronicles, guys. He's the bomb.
And follow me also for future videos at my social media right here. See you guys in the next round, and keep punching.